Wazoo represent. We got a. So I'm the oldest guy here. Just by a little bit, and I'm gonna set this up for these cats to continue with the discussion and conversation with you all about why we are here, why you are here, why there was an importance for the Alliance, why there was importance for us, period. I think I'm going to give out a little background of when I had first gone out to Wazoo in the early 90s, actually late 80s, early 90s. Martin Lawrence was still had a show. They don't know it, guys. They don't know it. It's just us. Don't say it. I'm just throwing it out there. And I was actually probably the only. I was walking Pullman by myself for a while in terms of my identity, in terms of being Filipino. I got hooked up with APAS, Asian Pacific American Student Center. Started to organize with them. There wasn't that many Filipinos out there. So this was 92. And I was inquiring because we had done a lot of research, and there was a picture up here. I moved it or something, but I was inquiring about what happened to the Filipinos out of Washington State University because we heard of them. And we had heard of...
Oh, that one.
You're rude. You know that? I'm going to call you out in front of you. You're rude. And so I ran into some Seattle heads. So it was like BJ, Santos, Virgil Pauly, Alan Mala. They were transfers from the West Side, and all of them were looking for something too. And slowly we have picked up momentum to start up the Filipino American Student Association. It wasn't named FASA right off the bat. Actually, we had to find an advisor, and that was Antonelli Zamora. And we had thrown out names at her and told her what we wanted to do was to create a community for Phils to be organized on campus, to as a support, as whatever we needed at that time, which was we just needed people to be around. And so we came out with some crazy names. Like there was one that was like, I don't even remember the full names, like Katipunan, Kalanayan, all the way, right? We just spit it all out, and Auntie was like, no, what's your second choice? I was like, FASA? Right, like either it's this one or FASA. She was like, okay, well, I like FASA. And so we went ahead and followed with FASA. At the time, UW had FSA. They were, the big organization. UW had we had always heard about what Filipino Student Association was doing at UW. They were all about kicking it, and we all wanted to be a part of it. And so we had networks that we go over there and we kick it with UW. And then what we have found when we went back to Pullman, though, is that it wasn't just about kicking it, right? It wasn't just about like the social aspects of being in college. It's a crucial part, but then there's also the part is like, how come we don't have any Filipino brothers and sisters who are teaching us? How come there's no one in Comparative American Cultures that is teaching us about our history? We ended up like really reorging our whole idea of FASA, and this is what we came out with. So our first year was really just about building folks, building our organization, having a place for students. And let me backtrack real quick, because it wasn't just undergrad students. We had a lot of grad students who actually had come out, which was a beautiful thing, because they were isolated by themselves, right? They had nothing out there, so they came to Pullman for whatever reason, just to get their degree and leave. Well, they stayed through because of FASA. And so what we felt was now we needed to do outreach. It was just UW FSA at the time. We had transferred presidency and those duties over to Jeff and his crew. Beej, Verge, Al, and I decided, well, we needed to go out to the rest of the state. And we weren't thinking alliance. What we were thinking about is, well, let's network with UW. Let's try to find if Western had an organization. Let's see if UFC has folks that want to get involved too. So in the initial creation, you know, not to give too much props to Wazoo, even though this is a very heavy Wazoo board, Wazoo had helped in like the founding of UFC and helped in establishing Western FASA. And those are the few elements that led to the whole idea of, well, as a statewide organization now, what are we looking at? So the environment at the time, it was really hard. I mean, imagine, look, at least you have each other right now. You could walk around campus, you could see someone with a Western Washington University FASA sweatshirt and be like, hey, where are you going? You know, a lot of us, when we were there, we didn't have anything. We really didn't have anything. We didn't see anybody that we could relate to. It was really isolating. And it was sad for a while. It was really sad. There was no support. We had a really high dropout of folks that would either leave Wazoo, and it could have been just Wazoo, but I know we had a lot of folks that was just like, we can't do it. I can't be here by myself. Mm-hmm. Well, proud to say it, for FASA, at least up until maybe my brother, when did Bobby graduate? 96?
No.
2000.
2000. We had, I would say, it's pretty close to 100% graduate rate for FASA folks. That says a lot for what we were learning before, right? Like, I mean, we would just watch folks drop left and right, just leave. And for us to be able to say that an organization that helps support higher education within our community reach even closer to 100%, that's pretty amazing. And the continuing legacy, what Free was talking about in terms of being disheartened about the Alliance not happening this year. The continuing of legacy is not just about having it the following year and then throwing it again the following year, but it's really the whole, the crux of the meat of it is you're really trying to support folks to continue on with their higher education, with their knowledge, with representing their family. Now he's going to get into that a little bit, I think, but I mean, you're representing so much more on your shoulders, and that's what, as a group, we wanted to make sure that we all understood that. So, whew. How y'all doing?